A $95,000 van just got towed from downtown Seattle. A much smaller van parked nearby and walked to dinner. Same city, same night. One owner understood the city. I'm breaking down the 5 vans that actually survive urban environments in 2026, not the ones that look good parked at a trailhead, but the ones that fit under parking garage barriers, squeeze into parallel spots, and don't cost you $200 in parking tickets per month. Because here's the truth, if you can't park it, you can't use it, and that $90,000 dream van becomes a $90,000 storage unit on wheels. The urban reality check. Most van content shows you wide-open campsites and empty desert roads. Nobody shows you the panic of realizing your 21-foot van won't fit in the grocery store parking structure, or the rage when you're doing a 47-point turn on a narrow European street while locals honk. City parking has 3 non-negotiable requirements: under 19 feet length for most street spots, under 7 feet height for standard garage access, and a turning radius under 42 feet or you're blocking traffic every time you parallel park. Miss any one of those and you're not urban compatible, you're hunting for specialty parking that costs triple. And here's what changes the game in 2026. Most cities are actively shrinking parking spots. San Francisco reduced standard spot width to 7.5 feet in 2024. Portland's adding bollards that block anything over 18 feet in certain zones. You're not just buying a van, you're buying into a system that's designed to punish oversized vehicles. The cheapest van on this list has the highest ownership cost over 5 years, and I'll prove it with receipts. Ford Transit Connect LBW, the stealth parking champion. Length 190 inches, height 6.7 feet, turning radius 39.5 feet. This is the van that parks in spaces Sprinter owners drive past without even trying. It's the same footprint as a Honda Pilot, but it's a cargo van, which means you're building it exactly how you want. The discontinued advantage. Ford killed U.S. production in 2023, which tanked prices on used models. You're finding 2020 to 2022 examples with under 50K miles for $24,000 to $28,000. That's half what they cost new, and the depreciation curve is flattening because supply is fixed. The city superpower. At 190 inches and 6.7 feet tall, you fit in literally every parking scenario. Street spots, compact garages, underground structures, you're invisible. Parking enforcement doesn't look twice because you blend in with commercial delivery vans. The parts reality. Every small-town mechanic knows this platform because it's shared with European Transit Connect and Tornado models. Parts are at AutoZone. Oil changes are $45. When your alternator dies, it's a $280 fix, not a $900 Mercedes part. But here's the fuel trap. The 2.5-liter 4-cylinder gets 22 to 24 mpg combined. That's good for a van, but over 30,000 miles of city driving, you're spending $3,800 on gas at current prices. A diesel VW Transporter? $2,600. You save up front, but pay slowly at the pump. And if you think that's cheap, wait until you see what the next van costs when it breaks, because it will. The resale gamble. Transit Connects are flooding the used market because Ford discontinued them. Prices dropped 15% in 2024 alone. If you're buying to flip in 2 years, you're losing money. But if you're keeping it 5 years, the low entry cost offsets depreciation. Who should buy? Solo or couple builds prioritizing stealth, ultra-compact parking, and low upfront cost. DIY converters who want maximum flexibility. Who should avoid? Tall people, 6.7 feet height means crouching, families needing space, or anyone expecting strong resale in 2 to 3 years. Dodge Ram ProMaster 118-inch wheelbase, the underrated turning master. Length 186 inches, height 7.9 feet, low roof, turning radius 36 feet. This is the van urban planners would design if they designed vans. Front-wheel drive means you're turning tighter than rear-wheel transits, 36 feet versus 42 feet. That's the difference between one-shot parallel parking and embarrassing 3-point attempts while Uber drivers honk. The controversial truth.
Most people buy the high-roof ProMaster at 8.75 feet and lock themselves out of 90% of parking garages. The low-roof version at 7.9 feet barely clears standard 8-foot garage limits, giving you access other full-size vans don't. The ownership advantage. ProMaster parts are cheap because they share platforms with Fiat commercial vans sold globally. A replacement side door, $400. The same part on a Sprinter, $1,200. Multiply that across brake rotors, alternators, sensors, you're saving $2,000 plus over 100,000 miles. But here's where it gets expensive, because fuel costs on this van will shock you. The fuel punishment. The 3.6-liter V6 gets 16 to 18 mpg in cities. Over 30,000 miles annually, you're spending $5,400 on gas versus $4,200 for a diesel Sprinter at current prices. That's $1,200 a year bleeding out the tailpipe. Any maintenance savings vanish if you're doing heavy urban mileage. The resale surprise. ProMasters hold value worse than Sprinters, but better than Transits in the sub-20-foot category. 3-year depreciation runs about 45% versus 55% on Transits. You lose less when you sell, but you're still losing. Who should buy? Solo or couple builds who prioritize tight maneuverability and garage access and can handle low roof crouching or are willing to add a pop-up top conversion. Who should avoid? Anyone doing 20,000 plus city miles annually, fuel costs kill you, or budget buyers needing factory standing height without modification. The next van costs nearly double, but owners say they'd pay triple to avoid going back. That's not marketing, that's regret prevention. Mercedes Metris, the surgeon's daily driver. Length, 190 inches. Height, 6.9 feet, under 7 feet, this matters. Turning radius, 37.4 feet. Walk into any parking garage in Boston, Chicago, or Manhattan, and you'll see Metris vans that just cleared the height sensor by 1 inch. This is the only van in this category engineered for cities from the factory, not adapted from commercial delivery specs. The pricing reality. $52,000 used 2020 to 2022 with 40K miles. That's Sprinter territory for half the space, and people still pay it because a cheaper van simply won't fit downtown. But here's what justifies the cost. Mercedes has 178 dealer service centers in the US. When your turbo fails in Des Moines, you're not hunting Facebook for mobile Sprinter mechanic may be available next week. You're making an appointment. That's a $3,000 towing bill you never pay. And the insurance savings alone pay for dinner every month for 5 years. The sneaky win. Insurance companies classify the Metris as a passenger van, not commercial. Average annual premium, $1,150. A Sprinter, $1,650. Over 5 years of ownership, you save $2,500. Not revolutionary, but it's free money for driving something more practical. The build consideration. You're working with 60 usable interior square feet. That's enough for a bed, galley kitchen, and storage if you're smart. No shower unless you go wet bath style and sacrifice wardrobe space. Most Metris owners accept this because they're parking in cities where gyms and public facilities are plentiful. The resale shock. 3-year-old Metris conversions sell for 65 to 70% of build cost if done well. That's better than any other van under 20 feet because the buyer pool is educated. They know what they're getting and why it's worth it. Who should buy? High-income earners who value time over money, frequent city travelers, or anyone who parks in private garages with 7-foot limits. Who should avoid? Tall people, you're crouching constantly, families, no space for kids, or budget buyers, this is the premium option. Volkswagen Transporter T6.1, Europe only, the Streets of Rome solution. Length, 190 inches. Height, 6.4 to 6.9 feet, depending on roof. Turning radius, 37.7 feet. If you're planning European city travel, this is the only van that makes sense, and trying to import a US van to Europe is financial self-harm. Why it dominates? VW designed this for narrow alpine villages and historic city centers, sliding doors on both sides for tight spots, diesel engines hitting 35 to 40 mpg in cities, not highways, and the aftermarket support is absurd. Companies like Remo and Westphalia build transporter conversions specifically for urban use. And here's the move Americans keep missing. It costs them $25,000 every single time. The ownership logic. Buy used 2018 to 2020 for 30,000 to 45,000 euros. Add a 5,000 euro pop-up top and basic interior, you're all in under 45,000 euros for a van that fits in Parisian parking garages and drinks fuel like a sedan. Compare that to shipping a Sprinter from the US, 7,000 euros, losing 30% on resale because it's left-hand drive and paying double for diesel. The service network. 1,200 plus VW commercial service points across Europe. Breakdown in rural Portugal, you're getting towed to a mechanic who works on these daily, not a guy Googling how to fix American van. The trap Americans fall into. They ship their US van to Europe for a 6-month trip, then can't sell it when they're done because nobody in Europe wants a gas-guzzling left-hand drive Transit. They eat a $25,000 loss on shipping and depreciation.
Just buy the Transporter, use it, sell it before you leave. Who should buy? Europeans or Americans planning 12-plus months in Europe who will sell locally. Who should avoid? US-only travel plans or anyone uncomfortable with manual transmission. Most used Transporters are stick. And the final van is the one most people dismiss immediately until they see the 5-year cost comparison. The garage-friendly brick Chevrolet Express/GMC Savannah 135-inch wheelbase. The contrarian budget choice. Length, 224 inches. Height, 6.75 feet. Low roof. Turning radius, 42.5 feet. Hear me out, this is too long for tight street parking. You'll struggle with parallel spots in narrow lanes. But it's the lowest cost option that gives you garage access in parts you can find at any auto shop in North America. The pricing shock? $28,000 used, 2018 to 2020, under 80K miles. Add $8,000 for DIY conversion. You're all in at $36,000 for a full-size van with actual standing room. The city logic clarified, you're not fitting easily in compact street spots. Street parking will be stressful, but you are fitting in multi-level parking garages where height matters more than length. Suburban malls, airport economy lots, downtown structures with 7 to 8 foot clearances. This is a garage primary city van, not a street parking van. But the fuel costs on this thing will make you question every decision. The maintenance reality? Chevy small block V8 parts cost half what Ford EcoBoost or Sprinter turbo diesel parts cost. Oil change, $45. Brake job, $300. This is the van mechanics smile at because they can fix it in their sleep. The fuel punishment? 12 to 14 mpg in city driving. Over 30,000 miles annually, you're spending $6,500 on gas versus $4,500 for a diesel Sprinter. That's $2,000 per year in extra fuel. But you saved $25,000 up front, so you're still ahead for the first 12 years of ownership. Who should buy? Budget-conscious buyers who will primarily use garages, not street parking, can handle the fuel cost and value dirt-cheap maintenance. Who should avoid? Dense city dwellers needing daily street parking, eco-conscious buyers who can't stomach 13 mpg, or anyone in tight European-style streets. The insurance and ticketing reality nobly mentions. Here's what actually costs you in cities: tickets and towing. A Sprinter parked on a narrow street gets ticketed for obstructing traffic, even if it's technically legal, because cops don't measure, they eyeball. Cost? $125 per ticket. 3 tickets per year are $375. A Metris, Transit Connect, or ProMaster under 19 feet never happens. You're visually car-sized. And towing fees in cities run $300 to $500 per incident. Bigger vans get towed more because they're obvious targets when street cleaning comes through. The real comparison: over 5 years of urban parking, a 22-foot van costs you an estimated $1,500 to $2,000 more in tickets and towing than a sub-19-foot van. Add that to fuel differences, and suddenly the cheap van is expensive. Who should buy what?
Buy the Ford Transit Connect if you want the absolute smallest, stealthiest, most parking flexible option and don't mind DIY conversion or discontinued model quirks. Buy the Metris if you have the budget, you're parking in cities 70% of the time, and you value dealer support in resale value. Buy the Ram ProMaster 118-inch low roof if you want tight turning and garage access, and you're willing to crouch or add a pop top. Buy the Volkswagen Transporter if you're in Europe and refuse to compromise on fuel economy and service access. Buy the Chevrolet Express if you're broke, handy, primarily using garages, not street parking, and can stomach brutal fuel costs. The best city van isn't the one with the prettiest interior or the most Instagram followers. It's the one that fits where you actually need to park, costs less than you're losing an opportunity, and doesn't make you rage quit van life after 6 months of circling for spots. Geometry beats luxury in cities. Always. Are you team pay more for the Metris or team save $20K and deal with the ProMaster quirks? Drop your real experience below, especially if you've tried to park a Sprinter in San Francisco and lived to tell the story.